Well, good news for this area. Hurricane Joaquin went out to sea. We have overcast skies after a couple of days of heavy rain. 58 degrees as we send it down to Christina Pink.
Thank you, Dick. Well, it would appear that the hamstring injury that sidelined DeMarco Murray a week ago would be healed. He's obviously active today, went through his normal pregame warm-ups, was a full participant in practice on Thursday and Friday. But when I saw Chip Kelly just a little while ago, I asked him, Coach, is it safe to say DeMarco Murray is 100%? His response with a smile, it's safe to say he'll play today. So we'll be watching him down here on the sideline. But with running backs, you want to watch that burst, that explosiveness with hamstring injuries. Back to you, Dick.
No question, Christina, especially now that they know that they have some depth as well with Ryan Matthews, who gained over 100 yards last week. But the Redskins will get it first. Rashad Ross will receive, and the new kicker, Caleb Sturgis. As Caleb Sturgis will be the new kicker for the Philadelphia Eagles, as Cody Parkey, the Pro Bowl kicker last year as a rookie, suffered a groin tear and is out for the year. So Sturgis, the former Miami Dolphin kicker, will start it off, and the Redskins will get it first. Rashad Ross, and this kick will go to the end of the end zone, and we'll just tell you right now, we have a swirling wind that's affecting, I guess, the passers and the kickers today, David.
Yeah, you saw the punters out there in pregame getting their extra reps, making sure that they figure out which way to punt when they're going to go directional today.
Kirk Cousins hasn't played badly, and the key for him, of course, is to avoid the mistakes. That's the main issue with him.
They're going to have to lean on the run game to make sure that he's in third and manageable, which he is at his best at.
First and 10 at the 20-yard line. And a flag goes down on the first play as Alfred Morris carries off the left side. Picks up about 3 yards on the play. So a penalty, and we'll hear from the referee, Jerome Boger, momentarily.
Illegal formation, offense. Number 14 covered up the tight end, number 86 on the line of scrimmage. 5-yard penalty, repeat, first down.
So Ryan Grant, and how great is it to start off a game with a dead ball foul if you're the Redskins?
Well, we talked about it in open. The self-inflicted wounds are what the Washington Redskins cannot suffer today and cannot do to themselves against this defense.
So Deshaun Jackson not playing. Ryan Grant out to the right on first down and 15. Here's Morris running off the left side. And with a head of steam, they're the only team, the Redskins are, with two running backs in the top 20 in the National Football League. As let's take a look at the lineup. So it's going to be Morris, and as you mentioned, Matt Jones. May see a lot of him today as well.
Yes, we will. He brings that game-breaking mentality and that physicalness. But we're also going to have to watch this offensive line. They have a new guard stepping in for Sean Laval at left guard, Spencer Long. So that's something that we're going to have to pay attention to with the Pro Bowl left tackle, Trent Williams.
Second down and 8. Again, they go to Morris. And Morris carries it, and another flag goes down as Morris gets beyond the 25-yard line to the 28.
I think they're going to get Morgan Moses with a hold on the backside against Brandon Bear.
Personal foul, clipping, offense. Number 76.
You're absolutely right. Morgan Moses in his second year and has played well. So two penalties in the first 3 plays for the Washington Redskins from scrimmage. Taking a look at the Eagles defense, they have a couple of starters out of there, but they have been solid so far, particularly against the run.
They most certainly have, and they've been able to do it with just 7 in the box because they've been able to split their safeties with Malcolm Jenkins and Walter Thurmond on the back end.
So now second down and 19, and there is the secondary for Philadelphia. E.J. Biggers has come in at cornerback as Ryan Grant goes in motion. Cousins out of the shotgun inside his 5. Good protection there, but the pass heading to no one in particular, bounces in front of an Eagle defender intended for Jamison Crowder, the rookie from Duke, and that'll be third down. And you wonder now if Philadelphia is going to send a few people.
This is where they are playing in the favor of the Philadelphia Eagles. They're going to show you an odd front with 3 down. They're going to show you an even front with 4 down. And they're going to do whatever they can up front to create mismatches and create confusion for the offensive line for the Washington Redskins.
Right now, the Redskins have not converted a 3rd and 10 plus this year. They need 19 yards, and on a delay, the handoff to Chris Thompson. Thompson with a burst. He's going to get a first down, and he's going to get into Eagle territory. Great call. Chris Thompson, the 3rd down back, normally used as a receiver, and Byron Maxwell, who made the tackle, shaken up for a moment, and what a play. 43 yards. For the first time this year, the Redskins convert a 3rd down with 10 or more to go.
I know it's a 3rd and long, and you want to penetrate and attack the quarterback and get upfield, but you also know this is the opportunity to hand off the draw. Start with a little bit of patience on 3rd down and longs instead of stretching it out so far, and they took advantage of it.
And we have movement in the line. No flag thrown yet as the Eagles get back. First down and 10. And Alfred Morris going off the right side for the first time. Picks up 2 yards on first down to the 45 of the Eagles. Connor Barwin was there to make the play.
You know, the great thing that we're going to see out of 2 different defensive linemen today, or defensive lines, you're going to see for the Philadelphia Eagles, they're going to 2-gap. They're not going to penetrate. They're going to want to eat up blockers and just clog up the inside of the offensive line. But for the Washington Redskins, they're going to penetrate and play the run on the way to the quarterback.
And by the way, that 43-yard run, David, was the longest play from scrimmage for the Redskins this year. 2nd down and 8 at the 45. Good protection here, and the pass is batted down at the line of scrimmage. So that will bring up a 3rd down and 8. And it was Brandon Baer who's starting today in place of Thornton at defensive end.
As an offensive lineman, it's a very tough thing to keep a defender's hands down, but the minute that you feel a defensive lineman let up, you got to make sure you give a nice tug and get him underneath to make sure Kirk Cousins can throw over and it doesn't get defensed.
And Bo Allen got a hand on it as well, maybe both did, and now there is movement, and we're going to have a penalty. So 3 penalties on the first series of the game, 2 so far against Washington.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense, number 91.
And that'll be against Fletcher Cox of the Eagles. So it'll still be 3rd down, but now 3rd down and 3 for the Redskins with the ball at the Philadelphia 40.
Nice discipline by the offensive line of the Redskins, and great hard count by Kirk Cousins drawing that offside.
And Chris Thompson, who burst up the middle for 43, is in the backfield along with Cousins now. And the flip goes over to Thompson. Thompson will have a first down. And Chris Thompson with a big first down for the Redskins. And it was Nolan Carroll, the cornerback, who pushed him out of bounds. Good for 19 yards. The early hero on offense for Washington.
You know, we all talked about Alfred Morris and Matt Jones coming into this game, as well as the Philadelphia Eagles. This is a nice changeup for the Washington Redskins to use Chris Thompson, his playmaking ability, and his speed.
Do you think going to Morris early on a couple of plays set this up?
You know what? It's hard to say because they had the negative penalties where it really didn't set it up. Chris Thompson has taken advantage of it.
So a first down at the 21 of the Eagles. And here is Alfred Morris, and Morris will pick up a couple of yards on first down. Jay Gruden, whose mission is to get this team to be mentally tough and finish what they start, and they have faltered, not finished the job, and that's got to be number 1 in his mind.
It really is, and he said when the game is not in their favor, a player has got to step up and switch the momentum back in their favor, and he said that's where the game and this team is going to change into the right direction.
So now 2nd down and 8 from the 19. Jamison Crowder lining up in the backfield, the pass coming out. And Morris, the guy with the catch, and E.J. Biggers making an open field play, limiting Morris to just 2 yards. So now, once again, the Redskins face a 3rd down, David, and so far they've been successful on 3rd downs. They need 7 here.
Great open field tackle by E.J. Biggers. You see the little trip throughout bunch They're going to get Alfred Morris outside, and if he doesn't come up with that tackle, Alfred Morris has taken that one to the house.
Good tackle by Biggers, former Tampa Bay and Redskin player. 3rd down and 7. Cousins on the slant. Pass caught inside the 10. Another first down. Pierre Garçon on a perfect slant, and the Redskins have 1st and goal inside the 10.
Pierre Garçon doing what he does best, catching in traffic across the middle of the field, showing no fear. And the Philadelphia Eagles said when he gets the ball in his hands, it is almost like a running back running downhill. That's how tough he is.
You know, without Deshaun Jackson, they don't really have that deep threat, but Garçon really is a reliable guy, as is their tight end Jordan Reed. So now 1st and goal at the 7. 2 tight end formation for the Redskins. Here is Morris. Morris is going to be knocked back for a loss of 1. Good hustle by Benny Logan, the Eagles' nose tackle. So after the 11-yard pickup, a loss of about a yard.
You know, the Washington Redskins have got to be excited about this start, because this is the way they started against the St. Louis Rams and the Miami Dolphins. But the critical thing here is finish this drive with a touchdown. They cannot settle for a field goal in this game.
Absolutely. This is the 11th play of the drive coming up. And after what was officially a 42-yard run by Thompson on the 3rd and 19, he's in the lineup now in the backfield, 2nd down and 8. 2nd and goal from the 8-yard line. Cousins gets rid of it. Here's Thompson, and another good tackle, this time by Jordan Hicks, who had a phenomenal game last week against the Jets, coming off the bench, and a gain of 5, so it'll be now 3rd and goal. They'll place it at about the 2.
Everybody talked about Chris Thompson on 3rd down, but he's doing it on 1st and 2nd at a high level, and he's bringing that dimension that the Washington Redskins need.
Tell you, 2 solid tackles. Hicks there, and Biggers before, and Matt Jones has come in for the first time. Matt Jones on 3rd and goal at the 2, and they give it to Jones, and Jones gets hit and will lose a yard. The Eagles coming up big defensively, and that time it was Malcolm Jenkins coming up from the safety. So here are the Eagles, who have yet to allow a rushing touchdown this season, keeping their record clean, and the expression on Jay Gruden says it all as the field goal team comes up. And Dustin Hopkins, who is perfect 3 for 3. This will be a 20-yard field goal. Kai Forbath was released in week 2, and Hopkins came on, former Saint in preseason, and kicks the field goal. So kind of a bittersweet drive for the Redskins. That started on the 20. They had a couple of big plays, but they couldn't get in for the touchdown. And the Redskins do lead, however, 3-0.
This game is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com.
Pretty impressive drive. 13 plays, 78 yards, but Jay Gruden's Redskins only get 3.
They got to finish the drive with a touchdown, which we stated before, but more importantly, the penalties. 2 for 16 moving forward. They cannot set themselves back, because that makes the difference of putting points on the board at a high level or not.
You're right. Those 2 penalties, and everyone would have been really dancing in the streets in the nation's capital. DeMarco Murray. See whether he comes on the field. He's going to play. We don't know how much, and we don't know when, but the Eagles will have the ball.
This game is sponsored by Bud Light. Make the right call. Drink responsibly.
And back here at FedEx Field, 3-0 Redskins, and the Eagles will start with Ryan Matthews as their running back. Gained 108 yards against the Jets last week. First down from the 20. Sam Bradford's pass. Unable to catch the ball is Darren Sproles, who had 2 touchdowns last week, including a return.
And you don't see a lot of drops out of Darren Sproles. He starts fast in games, and you hope that's not a sign for the Philadelphia Eagles of what's to come.
And they want to play fast, and that's what they're all about. Ryan Matthews and the Redskins are there, stopping him at the 20-yard line.
Big pot roast Terrence Knighton running down the line, eating up blockers, making sure that was forced back.
Sam Bradford Not too much, 9.3 yards per completion. And Bradford is still looking for his first breakout game of the year with an offense that really hasn't exploded yet. DeMarco Murray in the lineup in the backfield on 3rd down and 10. Bradford getting some pressure, and down he goes back at the 10-yard line. Chris Baker starting today over Stephen Payal, though both will see a lot of action, and Baker gets the sack.
Joe Barry, the defensive coordinator of the Washington Redskins, said the biggest factor in today's game is we have to affect the quarterback. We have got to make sure that we get hits on Sam Bradford, we get him off of his spot, and make it uncomfortable from the time the game starts.
And Donnie Jones kicking from the 1-yard line, and Jamison Crowder looking for good field position, and he is trying to reverse direction. And let's see if he can erase the special teams tackles. He can't. And is tackled at the 40-yard line. And it was Jerome Copeland. Pressure on Bradford. Works for the Redskins on their first defensive sequence.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Ford. We go further so you can. By DraftKings. Free 1-week fantasy football at DraftKings.com. And by Visa Checkout, the easier way to pay online. Sign up now.
And back here at FedEx Field, the Redskins good field position starting from their 41. Kirk Cousins telling us after the loss to the Giants a week ago Thursday, when you lose Thursday night, you stew a little bit on the weekend. And that's what they did. Handoff is to Morris. And Morris picking up 3 yards, is going to pound away, and that was Fletcher Cox. And there's Chip Kelly, who's in his 4th year as head coach of the Eagles. And is there a guy more scrutinized than what his system is and whether it's working?
Well, it's not only about the system. It's the fact that this year he took over the personnel and how many changes they've made on the offensive side, especially that they're still trying to regroup and figure out how they're going to fit into the system.
That's the identity aspect you were talking about. 2nd down and 8. And this pass is caught. And close to the first down, Jordan Reed. Close to it. Time for a game break. Let's check in with Kurt Menefee. Kurt.
All right, remember Jameis Winston's first pro pass was a pick 6? Well, so is this one. Josh Norman takes it 46 yards for the score. First 2 possessions, the Bucs turned it over. Carolina up 10-0 midway through the first. Dick, David, and Christina.
All right. Thank you very much, Kurt. 8 yards and a first down for the Redskins on the 49-yard line, and the rollout and the pass caught once again by Reed. Jordan Reed, back-to-back first downs. And boy, the Redskins offensively, after getting stymied on 3rd and long, have looked very sharp.
Doing a nice job on first down, making sure that they gain 2 to 3 yards, making sure that they're moving forward. They get the play action going. You're going to see Jordan play in this play action. He sells it back. They run that bootleg, gets out into the open, and he creates those one-on-one matchups that he can really win when he gets outside, especially against big linebackers.
And a big back, Darrell Young, is now in there, as well as Alfred Morris. So they have the I formation, and here is Morris, who has Young as a blocker, but the Eagles managed to come through anyway on the run to the left, and D'Amico Ryans limits Morris to a gain of 1.
D'Amico Ryans still playing at a high level, has had a lot of football in his day, but he is one of those true leaders that you really respect, because day in and day out, he checks in and punches in the clock, and he goes to work.
Well, right now, the Eagles defense has held the team together. I know they're trailing 3-0. Washington dominating in total yards, but it's still very early. 3:49 to go in the first, and the handoff is to Chris Thompson off the right side. Thompson making a name for himself here in the first quarter. Stopped by Logan. Let's send it down to Christina.
Dick, a couple of Eagles defenders injured on that last drive. Both starters, linebacker Michael Kendrick has a hamstring injury. Cornerback Byron Maxwell has a quad injury. Both are questionable, although I'm told that Maxwell is a little more likely to return. He is back in the locker room right now, though, so we're monitoring the injuries.
All right, Christina, that's why we saw E.J. Biggers in the game, and of course, we see Hicks a lot. Chris Thompson remains in the game on 3rd and 3 from the 27, and the pass is caught by Reed, and did he extend it up for the first down? And he might have, and he did. Jordan Reed with his third catch and third first down on this drive gets 5 yards, and it's enough.
Good job by Kirk Cousins. He knows pressure is coming into his face, doesn't get rattled, keeps his eyes downfield, gets it to Jordan Reed to convert. Right down the middle. You see it coming after him. Connor Barwin, we're going to see him lined up all over the field today. Look at the extra effort. Jordan Reed is just showing that they want to win this football game. They know how important this one is.
First down at the 23. Reed coming in as the leading receiver for Washington. Alfred Morris. Morris picking up 1.5 yards. He was down by contact before the ball came loose.
Looks like Benny Logan was slow to get up on that one.
Bill Davis is the defensive coordinator for the Eagles. He feels his team has gotten better each week. And they have said we stopped the big play. Matt Jones is in the lineup again on 2nd down and 9. He had a monster game against the Rams. And here is Jones fighting his way to the 20. Eagles coming in, allowing the opposition to like 3 yards a rush, one of the best in the league.
They really are, but for the Philadelphia Eagles, they don't mind if they get 3 yards on 1st or 2nd down because they know that's going to keep them moving the chains forward, which is important. And we all know Kirk Cousins is a perfect 3- and 5-step drop quarterback. Let him get comfortable, let him plant that back foot and rip it.
6 first downs already for the Redskins. It'll be 3rd and 7. Cousins has been effective as a passer on 3rd downs most of this year. Here's Cousins again, and he's going to go deep into the end zone. Crowder is there, and he's out of bounds. Jamison Crowder covered well by Nolan Carroll, who played at the University of Maryland. And the pass is incomplete. 4th down coming up, and the Redskins will try to get 3.
Nice protection up front. He gets it out there, but you see that 2nd foot get out of bounds. Good throw by Kirk Cousins. You know that they were hoping to connect on that one, but here we go, settling for another field goal.
So Dustin Hopkins, who converted a 20-yard field goal to give the Redskins their lead, this one will be from 38. And Hopkins' kick is perfect, and he remains perfect. 5 for 5 on the year. Chip Kelly's Eagles trailing 6-0. Less than a minute to go in the first. Tomorrow there's a showdown brewing that has Gotham on edge. If you think you know what's happening next, you better think again. The new season is here. Gotham, Rise of the Villains. Catch an all-new episode tomorrow right here on Fox. Hopkins kicking off, and Josh Huff is standing about 1 yard from the back of the end zone. And just about where he was standing is where the ball was kicked. So Sam Bradford, who got the pressure from the Redskins that the Redskins didn't do against Eli Manning, comes out for his 2nd series. Kelly's offense went 3 and out with a sack the first time. They'll start from the 20. Trying to run the ball, I guess, to loosen it up for the pass against the depleted Redskins secondary. DeMarco Murray is in the backfield. Set the Dallas team record for rushes last year and gets the handoff here. And look at that cut by Murray. DeMarco Murray. Not only fast, but big. He showed it there and gets himself into Washington territory before Bashawn Breeland and Jackson Jeffcoat stops him. A 30-yard run on 1st down.
That's the DeMarco Murray that we know and we have seen in the past. Gets downhill quick, makes his quick cut, gets the read, and gets back upfield. This is the start that they needed him to have.
Only the 4th play over 20 yards for the Eagles this year. And Bradford, seeing good coverage downfield by the Redskins, has to get rid of it and throws it away. You got to credit the secondary there, but how about DeMarco Murray with the run?
Real nice job just getting downhill. Get him downhill. Let your offensive lineman get to the 2nd level, but get him at max speed. Don't worry about getting him lateral. Get him north and south. Let him use his play speed, his legs, his drive to really make sure that he beats up physically this Washington defense.
In 2 games, David, he gained a total of 11 yards in 21 carries. That's un-Murray-like. And here is Murray again as time will run out, picking up 3 yards. And the quarter comes to an end. So that is the end of the first quarter with the score. The Redskins 6 and the Eagles nothing. Fox NFL Sunday returns after these messages and a word from your local Fox station. Start of the second quarter, Dick Stockton, David Deal, and Christina Pink, and DeMarco Murray off to a solid start compared to his first 2 games. Inactive with a hamstring pull last week against the Jets. 3rd down and 7 for the Eagles on the 47. Darren Sproles is in the game and coming in untouched. Bradford getting away. And Bradford's pass incomplete, but he saved a sack of about 10 yards. Ryan Kerrigan came in untouched and very nearly sacked Bradford, who escaped.
You see walking around, you see Ryan Kerrigan and Will Compton mugged up in there, create that confusion, and Kerrigan, who's their most dynamic pass rusher, is completely unblocked right down the middle of the pocket. They've got to make sure as an offense they shore this up and figure out.
Donnie Jones nearly had that kick block, and it's going to be down by the Eagles at the 1-yard line. That's scary if you're the Philadelphia Eagles with Kerrigan getting in untouched like that.
It most certainly is.
October means baseball, and FS1 continues to be your home for postseason action with the American League Division and Championship Series. Don't miss a moment of the drama and history. It all begins Thursday on FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
I wish I'd be watching this, but my White Sox were 75 and 86 this year, so unfortunately no playoffs for them.
And I think they're eliminated now, this being the last day of the regular season.
Yes, they are. Get a great look at Ryan Kerrigan. Nice job. Great confusion by Joe Barry and the Washington Redskins defense. And he said, affect the quarterback is the key, and they're doing it right now to Sam Bradford.
Redskins will begin from the 2-yard line. See if the Eagles can take advantage of this right now. Alfred Morris bullying his way out, picks up about a yard. By the way, back to the White Sox. Robin Ventura will be back as their manager, and I'm glad about that.
Yes, he will. And Chris Sale, an unbelievable pitcher, had a great year.
It'll be 2nd down and 8.
Morris on 1st down, another 2-yard gain, and they'll take that. They will take that any day of the week.
You have to pound away, and people could say you're not getting much. You abandon the running game, not the Redskins. Said they're looking for an identity, and this is what they want it to be. 2nd down and 8 in the end zone. Cousins flush from the pocket, getting rushed, and this pass is incomplete. Jordan Reed grabbed it but did not have both feet in bounds. Good pressure that time from Benny Logan, the Eagle nose tackle.
Jordan Reed coming back to the football but couldn't get his 2nd foot in at the sidelines. For me, go back to the run. Now you're putting yourself back in the 3rd and 8. I know that you got 2 yards on the first one. Go back to it. Give it a shot. Unfortunately, they didn't catch the pass. It wouldn't have made a difference right now for them. I think they've got to stick to the game plan and stick to the run.
And that opens everything up. And there is a penalty flag down at the 10-yard line as the Redskins, who, by the way, 4 for 6 in 3rd down conversions, off to the good start.
Last time I checked, there were no rules for running on 1st and 2nd down.
They're going to call this against the Redskins, and you wonder whether Reed did not get back in, went out of bounds, and then came back in, and cannot be the first player to touch the ball. And the officials, not Boger, the referee, over talking to Chip Kelly on the Eagles sideline.
Illegal touching. Offense, number 86. The receiver went out of bounds, came back in bounds, and was the first to touch the ball. Philadelphia has declined that foul. 3rd down.
You're used to seeing that on kickoff.
Yes.
Or on punts. You're not used to seeing it on an offensive player coming back to it.
Penalty is declined, and now it's 3rd down and 8.
Wasn't forced out of bounds. Coming back, that foot was out.
Can't be the first to touch it. Chris Thompson, the third down back, has been spectacular thus far, is in there. 3rd down and 8 from the end zone. Kirk Cousins, shallow cross, and another good tackle as Garcon is tackled immediately, and another good open field tackle, Nolan Carroll this time. I'll tell you, this secondary and the linebackers making the most of open field plays for Philadelphia.
They most certainly have, and it's so important against Pierre Garcon. His yards after catch, his physicalness, great job of getting low, but they got to make sure next time they wrap him up.
Darren Sproles is back at the 45-yard line. And last week, Sproles returned a punt 89 yards. They came in to try to block it. No flag is down. Sproles is going to let it bounce. And the crowd loves it. It will be down at the 30-yard line of the Redskins, or of the Eagles, that is. A 64-yard punt counting the roll. So far, Philadelphia's offense remains lukewarm, to say the least.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by the all-new Fiat 500X crossover, by Burger King, kick off fall with a new Oreo pumpkin spice shake, and by T-Mobile, switch to the Data Strong network.
Back here at FedEx Field, and the first 2 possessions for the Eagles resulting in punts. Starting from the 30-yard line, and DeMarco Murray giving ground and being pushed out of bounds by Ryan Kerrigan. Well, together the NFL and the American Cancer Society encourage everyone to join in the fight against breast cancer. Learn more about a Crucial Catch Day on October 13th and find out how to make a crucial catch at NFL.com/pink. Hurry up. Loss of 5, 2nd and 15. Bradford under pressure again, and down he goes. Ricky Jean-Francois with the play, and a flag down upfield where the receivers were roaming in the secondary. David?
You saw Chris Baker the play before.
While the quarterback was in the pocket. Illegal contact. Defense, number 38. 5-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Deshaun Golson, the free safety, on a play in which the front 7 did their job.
Basically, Golston walks up and just flat out punches him. That contact. Comes up, gives a punch. It's after 5. We all know the rules.
Damaging penalty, whatever it is called. It's plagued the Redskins all year except for the Ram game. 1st down and 10. And the flip out to DeMarco Murray. And Murray is wrestled down by Keenan Robinson. Time for a game break. Let's check in with Mike Hill.
All right, guys, Giants, Bills, and a big one in Buffalo after a Tyrod Taylor pick. How about Dwayne Harris finding it 21 yards from Eli Manning? 9-3 Giants in the first.
And the hurry up by the Eagles. 2nd down and 6. Play action to Murray, and Bradford goes down back at the 25. Chris Baker with his 2nd sack of the game. And a loss of 7. The Eagle offensive line cannot keep the Redskins away from Bradford.
Chris Baker this entire drive has been getting penetration. You see him inside, rushing, pushing, pressing. Comes up with a big sack. Had the nice pressure on the run. Now you see him affecting again the quarterback. That's what they want to do. Play the run on the way to the quarterback.
3rd down and 13. And on the screen pass, Murray. And a solid tackle by Bashaud Breeland. Remember, the Redskins don't have their starting cornerback, D'Angelo Hall. Culliver was hurt but got the nod. Chris Culliver did today. And Breeland starting in place of Hall, making the tackle, bringing up 4th down.
More than just the X's and O's part. Right now, this Redskins defense is flying and swarming to the football and playing aggressive.
Jamison Crowder Fair catch at the 25 and another penalty marker down at the 32.
Illegal shift, offense, number 13. The 5-yard penalty will be added to the end of the kick. Washington kicks the ball. First down.
It was Josh Huff on the illegal shift. So we're going to go to break right now. Penalty decline. The Redskins lead thanks to 2 field goals still early in the second.
Look at me now.
Redskins DC, Joe Barry said the fact the quarterback is the key. You see Trent Murphy ripping off the edge. Get Sam Bradford to step up. Chris Baker with the sack. Unknown look. They're all over the field scamming. Ryan Kerrigan unblocked. Another pressure. You see here, coverage. Great. Here comes that pressure of the pocket. Just pushing it in his feet and coming up with another one.
Making it a long day so far for Sam Bradford. So far, we still have about 11 minutes to go in the second quarter. It'll be a first down at the 32 for Kirk Cousins and the Redskins. And the pass caught by Grant. He'll get the first down as he crosses the 40, gets to the 42.
There's Joe Barry. He's got to be excited about the way that this Redskins defense has started, but he knows it's about doing it throughout the entire game. It's not just about starting fast. It's about finishing the game the same way.
And you know the Eagles are going to try to have to make adjustments.
They definitely will have
to protect Bradford better. First down at the 43. Matt Jones is the tailback. Empty. Jones going around the left side and grabbing his helmet. Let's see if there was a face mask. I don't think so.
His hair. It was his hair. Grabbed him by the hair.
Which you can do.
Yes, you can.
Fletcher Cox said, look, I'll get you down some way, and he did. 1-yard pickup for Jones.
Getting to the edge, getting outside, and there it is. It's part of the uniform.
Yes, it is. So now second down and 9 for Washington. Garcon and Grant stood out. Good balance so far by the Redskins offensively. Grant to the top of your picture. Looking there is Cousins. He completes to Grant, who is tackled immediately at the 47 by Eric Rowe. By the way, Eagles cornerbacks right now. The starters Maxwell and Carroll are out, and E.J. Biggers and Eric Rowe are in.
The Washington Redskins have had success on the first drives. Yes, they have settled for field goals, but they have mixed in more runs. They've gotten play action going. For this one, I still feel that there is no problem with running on first and second down to continue to stay ahead of the chains. I know it's a 3rd and 5, which you want, but you can still continue to press forward against this defense.
Carroll returns at corner for Philadelphia from the 48 of Washington. 3rd down and 5. Cousins, good protection, completes it to Jamison Crowder, and a first down. Gets into Philadelphia territory to the Eagles 43. Jordan Hicks on the tackle, good for 10 yards. Cousins very steady thus far.
Good protection up front by the Washington Redskins offensive line. You see them working. They only rush 4. They pick it up. The stunts, the 4-man game, if you could see all the twisting up front, it was not a problem for the Washington Redskins O-line. Kirk Cousins can keep his eyes downfield and get it to Crowder for the first.
Crowder, 4th-round pick from Duke. Good return man. Has a little zip as a receiver as well. And a first down at the 43. Here's Matt Jones cutting up the middle. Tough to bring down. And Jones within 2 yards of a first down. Stopped by Fletcher Cox. Gets 7 on that play.
Now Matt Jones making his contributions to this offense. Chris Thompson, Alfred Morris, Matt Jones big on this drive. Now, like I said, it is still about finishing this drive. It's what they need to do. If they can score a touchdown in this drive, it is going to put them in the favorable position that they need to thrive, especially now with the defense the way it's planned.
Jones has averaged over 5 yards a carry, had 123 against the Rams. Play action. And here's Cousins completing the pass to Grant. And Grant is pushed out of bounds by Nolan Carroll at the 20-yard line. 16 yards for the Redskins, who have really dominated the Eagles almost entirely in this first half.
We saw it earlier to Jordan Reed. Now they're going to do it to Ryan Grant. They get that full zone right. You see every one of these defenders stepping up, especially the linebackers. Now they're coming back. Kirk Cousins get outside of the pocket. Ryan Grant is completely open, and this is the flow of what they need.
13th play of the drive, and that's what a good running attack does. They follow the running back, and Cousins can do this on the rollout, going into the end zone, and incomplete, intended for Reed. They had coverage for Reed in the corner of the end zone, so the pass is incomplete, and it'll be second down.
Come back to the boot action again. Unfortunately, this time it doesn't come up, but they're taking shots. They're being aggressive. They're taking it downfield. This time you see the back end, the coverage this time. They were a little bit slower on this one to eat up and fake coming up with that one.
Redskins have outgained the Eagles 181 yards to 24. From the 20, second and 10, they give it to Jones, and Jones will get a couple of yards. Benny Logan, the nose tackle, brings down Jones.
Same action, but actually this time they hand it off. They didn't boot with it. They didn't run. They put it in the hands, and here we are, third down and long.
The Redskins have really taken away Philadelphia's ability to get off plays in a hurry. Ball control-wise, they have dominated 32 plays to 11. That's what Chip Kelly looks at the snaps more than the time of possession.
It's about snaps to Chip Kelly, not about time.
Third down and 8. Chris Thompson. The third down back to the right of Cousins. In there for blocking. And going to Grant in the end zone. And let's see, incomplete. Flag is down. And let's see whether Grant was interfered with by Eric Rowe covering him in the end zone.
Pass interference. Defense, number 32. Because the contact occurred in the zone.
It'll be first and goal now for the Redskins. 17-yard penalty.
The rookie out of Utah had an interception last week, but you could see that left hand pushing off, getting on him before the ball was there.
And it'll be first and goal at the 1. Here again, Grant. And that left hand.
Grabbing that arm, pushing, getting around.
So Eric Rowe. So the Eagles still have not allowed a rushing touchdown, and Matt Jones not in. Stopped short of the goal line. It'll be second and goal.
I know the crowd was thinking that he got in with that extra effort, but they already blew the whistle. They already called him down.
Matt Jones, third-round draft pick out of the University of Florida, has been impressive as a runner. The one issue with him has been holding on to the ball. He has already lost 2 fumbles for the Redskins this week, but aren't shying away from him in the least bit. Second and goal now. And a lost ball. Cousins picks it up alertly. And he's in. Touchdown. I don't think they drew that one up. Do you, David?
No, they did not. But good fight and continuing to get that extra effort by the offensive line. On the left side, Spencer Long, Trent Williams. The key as an offensive lineman of what you say, you want to score with your defensive lineman, get him into that end zone, and you just see that surge continue to push, and Cousins gets that touchdown.
So this is in the playbook. They say you bobble the ball, the snap from center on the 1-yard line, just like that, pick it up, and then just dive in.
To continue to push.
Well executed. But Cousins gets the touchdown. And it is 12-0 now.
It's under review.
And they're going to, that play is all scoring plays and turnovers are under review. We're going to take a break right now. 5:18 remaining in the first half.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by FanDuel, the leader in one-week fantasy football.
No, I'm not sure he was in. Taking a look at the replays we saw, whether Cousins got in the end zone.
I think what we're all trying to see is when he is pressing in, his right leg right there. They're seeing, is that knee down? Did it touch another foot or a shoe? It's hard to say.
Yeah, maybe guys like you push him in, you know. You guys used to do that, right?
I mean, I think that's how you want to draw it up, that you fumble the snap, you pick it up, and then you run it in. But you know what? I don't think it's going to be reversed on this one. It's a tough call. It's hard to see if that knee was really touching, if it touched another foot or a shoe. I think they're going to stay with the call.
Here's Jerome Boger.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
I don't think they had really visual evidence.
Not enough
change
evidence.
It. So Cousins with the first rushing touchdown of his career and the first rushing touchdown given up by the Eagles this season. So 12-0 to score. Cousins 12 of 17 thus far for 107 yards. And it's been a mistake-free game to this point. 10 plays, 68 yards, and Dustin Hopkins for the extra point. And Hopkins' kick is good, and the Redskins take a 13-0 lead over the Eagles. One of these teams trying to get to 2-2 in the NFC East. And the scoring drive for the Redskins, and all of their scoring drives have been at least 10 plays. And the key play there was the 16-yard pass from Cousins to Ryan Grant in that drive. So talk about ball control and dominating the snaps. It's all been the burgundy and gold so far.
Now it's time for the Philadelphia Eagles to respond offensively, and it's got to start up front with the offensive line. They cannot allow the penetration in the run game where the backs have not had a place to go. And Chris Baker, who has 2 sacks, and the rest of the defensive line have been completely disruptive in the pass rush.
Well, we'll see if things change here with a 13-0 game. Coming up next, it's America's Game of the Week. Aaron Rodgers leads the Packers against the 49ers. Others will see Adrian Peterson's Vikings take on Peyton Manning and the Broncos, or the Rams face the undefeated Cardinals. America's Game of the Week coming up next here on Fox. Aaron Rodgers, is he standing alone right now in your opinion?
I think he really is. I mean, he's playing at such a high level, and I mean, it's like you're watching him playing a video game because he's laughing and smiling out there while still ripping it downfield and tearing up defenses.
From the 20-yard line, Ryan Matthews starts off as the running back, and he gets the call, and Matthews brings it out for a 5-yard pickup to the 25.
Matthews had that great game last week against the Jets. Obviously, the second half wasn't what they wanted, but they got him going fast. They got it started. The defense created turnovers, and that's something that right now the Eagles have not even had the opportunity to create those turnovers based on the way that the Skins offense has been playing.
Murray on the sidelines right now, getting time to come in. Bradford getting time and going deep downfield, and a great one-handed catch by Nelson Aguilar. And that's what the Eagles have been waiting for. Aguilar, the number 1 pick from USC, has been on most of the snaps. What a great catch, and a game good for 45 yards.
Going one-on-one against Chris Culliver, who didn't practice all week because of knee inflammation. But everybody was waiting for Aguilar to emerge and show what he did during the preseason. Well, he just showed it on that play right there with that vertical post.
So the Eagles finally unleash a big play. And a first down on the Redskin 30-yard line, and the end around, Aguilar loses it. Scramble on the fumble. Redskins recover. Keenan Robinson with the recovery.
Just a bad exchange on the handoff between Matthews and Aguilar. The flip toss, Aguilar doesn't come up with it. But, you know, you say, hey, well, what about the trickery? They just had a Matthews run. They had the vertical route. If he would have caught it, he would have been stretching all the way down and would have definitely got it inside the 20 because they had blockers lined up all along that sideline.
No question about it. Tough situation for the Eagles and Sam Bradford, and now the Redskins with a first down on their 33 following the turnover. And there is Cousins, and Cousins gets it to Morris, and Morris brings it out to the 35-yard line where Malcolm Jenkins brings him down. Minimal gain of 2. So Aguilar becomes a bit of a hero for a moment and a GOAT for the Eagles. And not a bad play call, really.
Talk about two different ends of the spectrum, going from catching the deep ball, getting back in track, and then having to fumble.
2nd down and 8. Chris Thompson, the tailback here. And on the pitch to Thompson going left. And the Eagles come up and making the play. Good defensive play by Walter Thurman, the former Giant.
Chris Thompson has to be a little bit more patient on that one. He had 2 blockers right in front of him. Trent Williams leading the way. If he just pauses for a split second, let your Pro Bowl left tackle, Trent Williams, get in front to open up something for you.
Basically, what are we seeing so far as we reach under 3 minutes to go in the half?
You're seeing a Washington Redskins offense that is controlling the football and making sure that their miscues are very minimal ones, where it's not turning over the football.
3rd down and 9. Running for his life is Cousins. And Cousins is going to be tackled. We have a flag down, and let's see if there's a holding call against the Redskins. Brandon Graham making the tackle. And holding is the call against Washington.
Holding, offense, number 76. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
Morgan Moses, the right tackle, and the penalty declined. Let's check in with Mike Hill.
All right, guys, Giants looking good in Buffalo. Still no Victor Cruz, so who needs to step up for the Giants? How about Ruben Randall? 11-yard TD catch from Eli Manning, 2nd of the season. All Giants, 16-3 in the 2nd.
All right, thank you very much, Mike. And Darren Sproles, ever dangerous, is back for the Eagles as Tress Way,
Timeout,
who
Philadelphia.
had a kick blocked last
They're
week
first.
against the Giants, and the Eagles
This is a
calling a
30-second
timeout.
Timeout.
That is the first timeout called by the Philadelphia Eagles. So this is a game in which, those that are talking about Chip Kelly and that offense are saying to themselves that we really haven't seen it exploited yet.
You really haven't, because of the Washington Redskins defense has been playing phenomenal here in the first half, getting penetration in the backfield, stopping the lanes where all the flow of the defense is coming. The pressure that they have put on Sam Bradford, the hits, it's working right now into the favor of exactly what Joe Barry wanted.
You played in this division for so many years. What's it like playing in an NFC division?
You know that this is going to be a 4-quarter heavyweight fight, and even though right now Philadelphia does not have the momentum, this second half with the adjustments that they can make can be a completely different football game.
Sproles at the 25. Here's Sproles. Look at that burst with the kicker to beat. And finally knocked out of bounds. And the Eagles may not have to wait for adjustments into the second half. Jackson Jeffcoat runs him out of bounds after a gain of 45.
You beat me to it, Dick. You beat me to it, because Darren Sproles just showing his versatility again. And when you always look at a football game, who are the people that scares you? And Darren Sproles is one of those players that definitely scares you when you're facing the Philadelphia Eagles.
Last week, returned the 6th punt for a touchdown in his career. Now a first down at the 30. Sproles out of the backfield, but the pass is caught for an 8-yard gain by Jordan Matthews, who's been quiet so far. Matthews, the leading receiver, and the 2-minute warning has come on with the Eagles left with 2 timeouts. Bradford only 4 of 7 passing, but the Eagles threaten. Get apps, videos, and more at iTunes.com/NFL. 2 minutes remain in the first half. The Eagles have 2 timeouts remaining. Trailing 13-0. 2nd down and 2. Empty backfield for Bradford. Has some time. His pass overthrown in the end zone, intended for Jordan Matthews. So now it'll be 3rd and short.
Nice coverage by Keenan Robinson. Last week led their defense in tackles. This week coming on and just showing his athleticism. He is quick, and I remember as an offensive lineman trying to run him down on the backside of zones. It wasn't easy.
3rd and 2. Here's Sproles. He'll have the first down. And a good tackle in open field there by Deshaun Golson. But a 12-yard pickup for the Eagles. Plenty of time remaining.
Sproles does so much for this offense. His versatility, his ability to extend drives and make plays. It's great to have a player like that, that's for sure.
Second leading receiver, David, as well. Touchdown last week. Penalty flag is down. The pass caught. Touchdown. Zach Ertz, but a penalty marker is down at the 15.
Illegal formation. Offense. Number 17 covered up the tight end on the formation.
And that was on Nelson Aguilar, and that will nullify the touchdown pass to Zach Ertz. So it's been a struggle for the Eagles, even when they've threatened here late in this first half. First down and 15, the ball at the 16-yard line. And the ball might have been tipped, I'm not sure. It was intended for Sproles. And Preston Smith might have gotten a hand on it.
See, the offensive lineman is back. You have to have your head in sync with the center's belt. If you get too far back, they're going to call that every time. And they usually give you a warning. So after they give you that warning, you know, even though you're trying to get back in your passport, you've got to make sure you get back up and make sure your helmet is even with the belt and the waistline of the center.
2nd and 15. Fake a handoff to Sproles, being rushed and going down, and the Redskins, led by Preston Smith, wouldn't let him get away. 2nd-round draft pick out of Mississippi State, playing more and more in the Redskin defensive alignment, and a loss of 9. And it'll be 3rd down and long.
That's the last thing that they needed to happen down here in the red zone, is to take a big sack like that, because Matthews was open on that play. If they were able to provide some protection, you see him working at the top, gets inside and breaks it off, but St. Bradford doesn't have enough time to get it to him.
So now 3rd and 24. What a first half for the Redskin defense. This pass is going to be caught by Riley Cooper, his first catch of the game. But well short of the first down with under a half a minute remaining in the half. The ball at the 15. And it's 4th down. And the Eagles, with the clock running down, will call a timeout to set up a field goal before intermission. And so 2 seconds remaining in the half. The Eagles looking to get on the scoreboard.
Timeout.
Let's check in with Kurt Menefee.
Yes, second. Please reset the game.
Coming up on the Visa halftime, the Dolphins have a tough time across the pond in London. The Falcons try to stay perfect against the Texans, and the Raiders go for 3 in a row. Highlights and more coming up on the halftime show, which will be ad-libbed, unlike this promo.
Kurt's been up here. He knows what it's like. We must have 1,000 cards to read. Now Kurt is living the great life where he can just read it, just talk it. So Caleb Sturgis is on to try a 33-yard field goal. 3 seconds remaining. And Sturgis' first kick as an Eagle is no good as he hooks it off to the left. And the half ends and the cheers resound here at FedEx Field as Chip Kelly's Eagles are outplayed on both sides of the ball. It's halftime, but the score, the Redskins 13, the Eagles nothing. And we now go to my good friend Kurt Menefee in Los Angeles for the Visa Halftime Report, which starts now. Brought to you by Nissan. And that was Today's excitement brought to you by Nissan. And so, Mr. Deal, here we are getting set for the second half kickoff. It's been all the Washington Redskins so far, and I wish we're on stilts right now so I'd be close to your height. Tell me, how do the Eagles, combat this great defense we've seen?
It's got to start up front for the Philadelphia Eagles offensive line. If you've looked throughout these series in the entire first half, whether it's a run or a pass, they have penetration. There's one or two guys that have been completely disruptive. Chris Baker has had a phenomenal first half and has gotten the start today because of his play.
Yeah.
Well, they haven't meshed. They're not working double teams well. They're not getting the run game going. But more importantly, even when Bradford gets the time, the coverage has been great.
You could model this defensive effort, and all to the benefit of Kirk Cousins, I would think.
You sure can, and you got to give the Redskins defense credit, because what they're doing is they're giving Kirk Cousins and the offense opportunities where they don't have to press.
Josh Huffle down it there, and the Eagles will start from the 20 as we check in with Christina Pink.
Thank you, Dick. Well, I hear you guys talking about that Eagles offensive line. Chip Kelly used the phrase really shaky when I asked him about the protection for Sam Bradford up front. They do have an injury on that offensive line. Left tackle Jason Peters went down in the first half with a quad injury. He's questionable to return, dealt with that same injury coming into this game, but Kelly just said we have to run the football better. Jay Gruden pleased that they were able to extend some drives with key first downs, and on defense, they're keeping Sam Bradford holding the ball a little bit longer.
All right, Christina, thank you very much. So Peters bothered by the quad during the week, and starting the second half, handoff to DeMarco Murray for a couple of yards on first down. 44 yards rushing by the Eagles in the first half.
So a lot of adjustments for the offensive line. Matt Tobin, who started at right guard, has now bumped out to the left tackle position. Now Dennis Kelly has stepped in at the right guard position.
So Tobin, who started the game at right guard for the injured Andrew Gardner, and an incomplete pass to Jordan Matthews, and it will be third down. Andrew Gardner, the right guard, out for the season with a Elise Frank foot injury, and so Tobin had to move to right guard. Now he's moving back.
A versatile player, but this is not the opportunity of where you want to show that versatility on the road when you're down 13-0.
In a divisional game. Really tight in the NFC East. All four teams right there. Third down and 7. Bradford getting time, but Bradford running, and he'll get the first down as he slides to the 40-yard line. But as you were telling me, not only is it the pressure up front, but the secondary doing its job as well.
They really are. They've done a nice job of covering the Philadelphia receivers to allow that extra effort for the Redskins offense or defensive line to get to him.
14-yard gain. And here's Murray off the left side, trying to cut up inside. And Kyshawn Jarrett, the rookie from Virginia Tech, prevents Murray from getting loose. No gain on the play, and it'll be second down and 10.
Once again, it's about getting Murray downhill. You want to get him in between the tackles. You want to get him fast at full speed in between there, because when you're starting to get him lateral on the edges, he isn't effective right now doing it this season.
That's what you did on the pregame show. You saw what Murray did in Dallas when he was a power straight-ahead guy compared to this. Here is Sproles in motion. Sproles with the ball, and he gets to the 40-yard line. They get to 39, where it'll be third down and long. And Ricky Jean-Francois, who came over from the Indianapolis Colts, making the tackle. It'll be third down and 8.
Well, you talk about Chip Kelly's speed and how fast they want to go, but that play takes so long, crossing the formation, getting outside to develop.
From the 39 of Philadelphia. Bradford has time, and the pass is caught. It'll be a first down. Aguilar defended by Breland, and Aguilar with the big catch in the first half, getting 9 yards. Also coughed it up with a fumble on the play right after he made a fine play, one-handed catch.
See at the top of the screen, he gets the one-on-one matchup, comes back to the football, showing those tight grip hands, pulling it in. That's the Nelson Aguilar we saw during the preseason.
9-yard gain. Here's Bradford stepping up, and Bradford is going deep to Jordan Matthews, and the pass is incomplete. and covered downfield by Jarrett.
And this is what I'm talking about. If you look at DeMarco Murray against when he was on the Dallas Cowboys, getting downhill, pressing it to the heels of the offense, getting it upfield. Once again, downhill, full speed. When you're working him against the grain, against formations laterally, he doesn't get to use his vision as much because he's going sideways. Then he's looking for the cut. Then he's looking for the hole. Get him downhill.
5 carries for 31 yards prior to this run, and a flag goes down. Pick up 4 yards.
Holding. Offense, number 62.
And it's Jason Kelsey, the veteran center, holding on the play. So the Eagles can't get out of their own way so far in this game.
And once again, this is another one. DeMarco Murray, you're seeing the full zone, but it's going outside. Get him upfield. Let him press inside, and that's where he works at his best.
He had one big burst for 30 yards, but only 31 in the game. Play action for Bradford on 2nd down and 20. Going deep downfield to Riley Cooper, and he's in for the touchdown. Riley Cooper, who is the only receiver left from the Andy Reid regime. 62 yards, and the Eagles back in the game as Bradford perfect on that throw.
Chris Culliver, who Nelson Aguilar beat earlier on a vertical route, has not practiced with that knee inflammation. And I know if you're a veteran, the free agent that they brought in, you can't come into a game without practicing. I don't care who you are. To be able to flip the switch like that is difficult for anybody. I don't care if you're an all-pro or a rookie.
Caleb Sturgis, who missed the field goal at the end of the first half, converts. No, he misses the point after as well. Here is the touchdown run, but Sturgis missed wide right on the extra point attempt, so he's over 2. Bradford, however, with the touchdown, gets the Eagles back.
Today's game on Fox is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. By Burger King. Kick off fall with a new Oreo pumpkin spice shake. By Chevrolet. Find new roads. And by AT&T, mobilizing your world.
So the Eagles strike, and they strike big. 62-yard touchdown pass to Riley Cooper. 8 plays, 80 yards. Longest play of the year for Philadelphia. 13-6, but Caleb Sturgis, who missed the field goal to end the first half, comes up empty on the extra point as well. Rashad Ross, who returned to kick 101 yards for a touchdown against the Giants, sees this sail into the end zone.
See, at the bottom of the screen, Riley Cooper is going up against Chris Culliver, but it looks with one single high safety, looks like he's expecting help across the middle, but Trent Robinson is all the way to the left looking inside and gets caught peeking, which allows Riley to get over the top. Anytime that the Philadelphia Eagles see that single high, that's when they really want to stretch the field.
And that was Cooper's first touchdown catch of the year. And the Redskins with a first down at the 20-yard line. Normally their third down back, Chris Thompson, is in the backfield on first down. Thompson picks up 5.
Spencer Long, who stepped in at that left guard position for Sean Laval, who has had a great year until the unfortunate injury, has been doing a nice job up front. You haven't seen any issues. You haven't seen any miscues, and this offense is functioning the way that they have the entire time this season.
Second down and 5. And Alfred Morris close to the first down. Interesting that the leading rusher with Morris and Jones on this Redskin team, Chris Thompson, with 51 yards before that last carry. A 4-yard pickup for Morris here. He'll be about a yard short of the first down. It'll be 3rd and 1. There's Thompson, who had a touchdown catch last week against the Giants. 3rd leading receiver. But it's Morris in there now.
As an offensive line, this is where you say, put it on us. Run the football right behind us.
And it's the front guy, and he's not going to make it. Darrell Young is stymied by the Eagles, as they would not get the offensive line for Washington to get anything going, and it's 4th down.
As an offensive line, like I said, this is the time where you say put it on our back, and that's what this offense has done. But you see the penetration once again getting into the backfield. D'Amico Ryans, the rest of the defense there, getting the offensive line back on their heels. There was no movement at the line of scrimmage.
So it's 4th down, and Tressway will kick. Darren Sproles had a 43-yard punt return early in the first half. Calls for the fair catch at the 29. And flag goes down, and the penalty will be against Washington. Quentin Dunbar, who was just activated from the practice squad as a defensive back, ran into Sproles after the fair catch signal.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Kicking team, number 47, tackling a player who had made a fair catch signal. 15-yard penalty from the end of the play.
And so
Philadelphia keeps the ball.
The Eagles will get a chance.
First down.
Down 13-6. Only down 7. Could have been 6 if Sturgis had made the extra point. Riley Cooper teaming up with Bradford to getting the Eagles back in the game. Will have the ball on their 44 when we get back. Connor Barwin has shown character and value as a member of the Philadelphia community. His foundation put on a concert to help revitalize Ralph Brooks Park in South Philadelphia, and it raised $185,000. Another concert earlier this year raised $300,000 for Smith Park, also in South Philadelphia. You can learn more about Barwin's efforts on NFL Presents Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern on FS1. Not a bad defensive lineman either, is his linebacker.
It goes to show he's even a better person for what he's doing.
Yes, he is. First down on the 44 of the Eagles. DeMarco Murray is going to be knocked back for maybe a loss of 1. He had that 30-yard run, but has been untracked since then.
He really has, and it started all up front. Once again, the Redskins defensive line continuing to get penetration into the backfield to disrupt the timing of the zone blocking and the double teams. When you don't have that mesh with your center and guard or your guard and tackle and they're splitting you, it's hard to get to the second level.
2nd and 11. Play action, pass up the middle, and the catch is made by Jordan Matthews, and a flag goes down right away. Matthews with the catch at the 26-yard line, and let's see if we have a personal foul call against the Redskins, and that may be it. They're going to mark it off.
Now that is the arm strength and the precision.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness. Defense, number 34. Contact on a defenseless player.
Trenton Robinson with the personal foul.
Automatic first down.
But what I was saying before that was that is the precision and the arm strength that we have seen Sam Bradford at. Look at him put it right over Keenan Robinson, perfect. That penalty, he led with his shoulder. I don't agree with it.
First down at the 13. 30-yard play plus the penalty on top of that. And the pass is incomplete, intended for Zach Ertz.
Here's that hit again. He's not launching. He's lowering his shoulder. I disagree with the call.
So the 30 yards plus the 15 tacked on. It almost as if Matthews ran into him.
He really was. He was catching the ball. He was continuing to move forward, and Trenton Robinson did nothing to lead with his head or strike him in the head to have that person foul. 2nd
down and 10. Here's DeMarco Murray getting down to the 10-yard line. Mike Pereira looming in Los Angeles, and you have an ally out there, right?
I don't think we need him on that one.
We always need Mike. You know, really, whatever it is, we need Mike. 3rd down and 7 from the 10-yard line. Bradford 8 of 16 passing. 1 touchdown pass. Aguilar going in motion to the right. Bradford in trouble. Escapes. Pass is caught. It's a touchdown. Brent Selleck. I don't know if that was an ad-lib play or not, but Bradford did a good job of getting away and finding the open man, Brent Selleck, the tight end.
Lane Johnson, the right tackle, actually had double duty on that play. Trenton Robinson blitzed. He had the scan, picks up Trenton Robinson. That's why you looked outside, and Ryan Kerrigan was unblocked. Didn't come up with the sack, though.
And Sturgis with the extra point finally comes through. Sam Bradford has thrown 2 touchdown passes, and they're tied right now, 13-13. Brent Selleck with his first touchdown pass, and the Eagles go to the air to get back in this game and tie it up.
This game is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
So the Philadelphia Eagles fighting back. Brent Selleck with the 10-yard grab. And we're going to see that replay and how active Selleck was to get open for the 13-13 game now. Rashad Ross is back deep, and Caleb Sturgis, who has missed a field goal and an extra point, will be kicking off to Ross. And the Redskins will take it from the 20.
This is the touchdown that tied it up. Joe Barry dials it up perfectly. He blitzes on the other. He blitzes on the front side, which makes Lane Johnson have to take Trenton Robinson, which keeps Kerrigan free. But Selleck gets open, and then you see Selleck gets open across the formation. But Sam Bradford talked all this week about his footwork, his movement in the pocket, and keeping his eyes downfield. Great job by him on that play, and look at the excitement. He's all fired up for this one.
159.
And he was traded for Nick Foles of the Rams, and now Cousins coming back, and he wants to go deep, has an open receiver, and it's caught. And a big play, 43 yards.
See Rashad Ross. They run that switch route. They get the opening. Ross, who had a big kickoff return for a touchdown against the Giants, has a nice play down the sideline.
43 yards to Ross. And without Deshaun Jackson, really becomes the deep man and the deep threat for the Redskins. 1st and 10 at the 37. Cousins, and the pass is caught. About a 7.5-yard reception to Ryan Grant. Well, this season, stream live local Sunday afternoon games right on your smartphone with NFL Mobile. 6-yard pickup here. Redskins trying to strike back, and all of a sudden, after all the running game we've had, both teams have gone to the air for big plays.
They most certainly have, and they've exploded with the big plays. You got to give the Eagles offense a lot of credit. They've stuck to it. They've stuck to their game plan and put themselves back in this game.
Here's Alfred Morris, and Morris is tackled for no gain as we send it down to Christina Pink.
Well, we saw Rashad Ross on that big catch. He is Deshaun Jackson's protege, but the mentor hopes to be back soon. Talked to Jackson prior to the game during warm-ups, and he told me that he is very close. He said he's made significant progress and improvements with that hamstring injury, missing his 3rd straight game today. He said, I am a week to a week and a half away and hopes to be on the practice field very soon.
All right, Christina, released by the Eagles, was injured with the hamstring pull in the opening game against Miami. Meanwhile, 3rd down and 3, and going underneath, the pass is caught, tight end to Pierre Garçon. So the Redskins, this is one of the things with the flag down that Jay Gruden was talking about, the ability to come back when there's been adversity. And this call may go against Washington.
Personal foul, grabbing the face mask. Offense, number 88. 15-yard
So it was
penalty for the spot
Garçon who grabbed the face mask, and that'll move the Redskins back.
It's going for the stiff arm, but he opens it up and grabs it.
Nolan Carroll.
You usually let it go after a while because you can feel your hand in there, but you want to talk about toughness. You want to show toughness. You just don't have to do it that way.
David, if this were a rodeo, he would have won. He would have had the most seconds on that face mask.
He most certainly would have.
3rd down and 13. at the 40-yard line. So the Redskins right now not even in field goal range, with 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Cousins pass, and a great catch made inside the 20-yard line by Jamison Crowder. Crowder with a big play, 23 yards. Not only did they get yards back, they got the first down to the 19.
We talked to Jay Gruden. He was excited about Jamison Crowder. He said, obviously, there's been some growing pains, but we feel that he can be a deep threat once Deshaun Jackson comes back. He feels that these two can really stretch the field and open up this offense the way that they want to. Look at him showing his toughness, too. He knows he's going up. He knows he's going to get hit. Focuses, brings the ball in, and comes down with it.
And great protection for Cousins to have the time till he got downfield. 1st and 10 at the 18. Pass is caught inside the 15 by Derek Carrier. First catch for the backup tight end. So the Philadelphia Eagles coming back after trailing 13-0 to tie this game, and now the Redskins threaten. Dick Stockton along with David Deal and Christina Pink down on the sidelines. Bradford with 2 touchdown passes, and now Cousins going to the air to try to regain the lead for Washington. It'll be 2nd and 7 at the 15. Morris doesn't get unleashed. Good play by Malcolm Jenkins, penetrating from the safety position to hold Morris to no gain.
You have to love Malcolm Jenkins. He leads their team in tackles. Not only does he create turnovers and tackles for loss like that, shooting off of the edge, he makes plays on special teams. He is just an all-around player, and those are the types of players that you love to have in your locker room and love to have around your young players. Even though you're starter, you're playing at a high level, you contributed on all phases of the game. 2
forced fumbles and 6 tackles last week against the Jets. The real deal is Malcolm Jenkins, but on 3rd down and 7, incomplete. Intended for Crowder. And so with 4th down, Dustin Hopkins will come in to attempt a field goal and looking to give the Redskins their lead once again.
You know, they're going down and kicking a field goal, but I still believe that this second half has given the Philadelphia Eagles a lot of life and a bend but don't break. I know that they don't want to give up any points, but I still feel that they have the confidence that they're going to turn it around for themselves and come away with this win.
33-yard try for Hopkins. And Dustin Hopkins' kick is good. So after the 13-0 lead, Chip Kelly's team came back, and now a field goal, giving the Redskins a 3-point advantage. October means baseball, and FS1 continues to be your home for postseason action with the American League Division and Championship Series. Don't miss a moment of the drama and history. It all begins Thursday on FS1 and streaming live on Fox Sports Go. And there is a Blue Jays fan, and they are the AL East champions this year. And well-deserved, as the Eagles will begin from the 20-yard line. And Kirk Cousins, who is 18 of 24, mistake-free today. 3:49 remaining in the third quarter. The Redskins have taken the lead, and now the Eagles trying for an answer here, starting from the 20. No running backs lining up behind Bradford, and the first pass is caught by Aguilar. Well, how did the Eagles bounce back in this game? To the right arm of Bradford.
Breakdown in coverage. Riley Cooper comes away with the big touchdown. And this one, Sam Bradford showing his pocket presence, being able to avoid the rush, coming up with the touchdown to Selleck, and we've got a great football game.
No question about it. Who expected anything less in an NFC East battle, as you well know, David Beal? 2nd down and 4. Bradford has time and overthrows Austin. First time they've gone to Miles Austin today, and that will make it 3rd down and 4. So Riley Cooper on the 62-yard catch and run, and then the 10-yard play to Brent Selleck, who did a lot of great ad-libbing on that one. But now a 3rd and 4. Big one coming up for Philadelphia, even though there's 3:15 to go. So it's been all about momentum.
Most certainly has been.
Bradford gets hit. Hung in there. The Redskins got to him, but a flag is down. Jason Hatcher came in and got a piece of Sam Bradford. See what the penalty is. And it will be against the Eagles. And they'll have to kick it away, and Bradford gets up limping. Remember, Bradford coming off of 2 straight ACLs.
Pass interference. Offense, number 81. That penalty is declined.
Jordan Matthews with offensive pass interference. Kurt Menefee with a game break. Let's check in with Kurt.
Well, follow the bouncing ball in rainy Tampa. Carolina's Jonathan Stewart loses it, but it's okay. There's Ed Dixon, his tight end, who rumbles 57 yards for the score. Carolina cruising 31-10 in the third quarter. Dick?
All right, and you know what? Kurt ad-libbed that one too. Didn't have to read anything. Here's Donnie Jones with the punt. Crowder at the 29. And he is taken down at the 37-yard line. Pressure continues on Sam Bradford. And the Redskins have been doing that all day. And this time he got up limping a bit.
Sam Bradford came up limping on that play because his left guard is getting bull rushed by Jason Hatcher. And if you see right there, his knee goes right on Sam Bradford's foot. He's going to roll that ankle.
Okay, it's been a rough day now for Bradford, but for the rest of that offensive line, and they're working on Bradford's right ankle.
Getting it taped up.
Meanwhile, the Redskins with a first down on the 36, leading by 3. Just under 3 minutes to go in the third.
I'd like to say in the NFC East, put some dirt on it and get back out there.
Play action. Matt Jones gives way in a completed pass downfield to Pierre Garçon. And it's a flag is down at the 39-yard line. That'll nullify that play. That'll go against Washington.
Downfield. Offense, number 71.
So Trent Williams,
replay
of
first
all
down.
people, Mr. Left Tackle.
Yes.
What's he going downfield?
Hey, obviously he got downfield, and that's something that you can't have happen in a game. But sometimes as an offensive lineman, when you're being aggressive and you're reaching, or if you're running a screen and he actually does take the opportunity to take the shot, it's hard to tell an offensive lineman to not do it.
Well, no one ever had to tell you not to do it. They're trips for the Redskins to the right. And the handoff to Matt Jones, trying to turn the corner, and another good tackle by the secondary, and another one by Malcolm Jenkins. He's been doing that the last 2 weeks, and a loss of 1 for Washington. So it'll be second down and 16 for the Redskins. They're back on their 30. Jones comes out. Chris Thompson in for the burgundy and gold. But you never called him the burgundy and gold when you were with the Giants.
Never.
No. Cousins goes underneath, completes to Derek Carrier. Carrier close to the first down, about a yard shy. Jordan Hicks making the tackle, so we're seeing Carrier, who has not been used much in the season thus far.
No, he really hasn't. You know, they've had him more when they've run the 13 package, bringing in those 3 tight ends to run the football, but he's been taking advantage of his opportunities, because when you have a Jordan Reed, when you have a Pierre Garçon, you know, they're the ones that are drawing the attention.
They're the Redskins, 6 for 13 on third down tries. They need 1 here. And it's going to be Bradford finding an open man, and it's Jamison Crowder, and a first down. He was wide open, and they got 6 yards, and the Redskins right about in midfield to the 49 of Philadelphia.
The Eagles have not found a way to stop this play. Once again, cutting against the grain, but the sell by the offensive line. You always say make it look and sound like run. That's what the offensive line is doing right now. They're getting the linebackers beaten up and making big plays out of it.
And another first down. Cousins 20 of 26 passing today. They keep it on the ground to Morris. Morris has not gotten untracked, and the Eagles have just gotten to him today. Fletcher Cox, no gain on the play. And for the day, Morris has averaged under 2 yards a carry. His longest run was 7 yards, but others have picked up the slack.
And coming into this game, Jay Gruden said that he is going to get a bulk of the carries, but obviously that has not been the case. They started off with Chris Thompson. Matt Jones has been involved in this one. So it's going to be interesting to see moving forward here in the fourth how much he's going to play into this one.
Yes, without question. Final seconds of this third quarter, 2nd down and 10. Cousins completes the pass to the big tight end, and it's Jordan Reed, and a loose ball jarred loose, and the Eagles have recovered. So the Redskins, who are moving it nicely until the turnover, as Jordan Hicks recovers the fumble by Jordan Reed after he had made the reception. And of course they will review all turnovers, as you know.
Defense took the ball from him. First down, Philadelphia.
We have 1 second remaining in the quarter.
Back-to-back weeks with Jordan Hicks coming up with the fumble recovery. But they always say one man hold up, the next man come in, and you give the old lawnmower move. You're going in like you're going to start the lawnmower, and he rips it out of there.
Brandon Graham right in the middle of that play.
And this is what the Philadelphia Eagles defense did last week against this New York Jets. Created turnovers, gave their offense more opportunities, but more importantly than anything,
the previous play is under review.
Philadelphia Eagles have got to continue to keep the momentum on their side like they have this second half and come up with a touchdown drive here.
Well, Graham forced it and Hicks recovered it, and they're going to review it, but it looked to be a clean fumble. We did not see Jordan Reed's knee touch the ground before the ball came loose, and it would have to be indisputable visual evidence to overturn it anyway. Mike Pereira is with us in Los Angeles. The most valuable MVP, most valuable Pereira. Mike?
Well, MVP, not always, that's for sure, Dick. But play they got to look at here is try to find got to look to see if the knee was on the ground with possession before the ball gets pulled out. And it's really tight. And one thing they've done a pretty good job of is staying with the call on the field when it's really close. Looking at it in motion like this, to me, ball looks like it's coming out now before that knee hits the ground, or at least maybe simultaneous. So I would think, looking at this, if it's me, I'd stay with the call on the field.
And a good point, Mike, that they have been going more that way than maybe they have in the past. And the break it would be for the Eagles with 1 second remaining. Jerome Boger.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. First down, Philadelphia.
Ball stands.
On that one, we got the most valuable Pereira.
Yes, we did. Mike, thanks very much. No one's perfect, but you're pretty close. And the fumble by Jordan Reed, recovery by Jordan Hicks. And so the Eagle aggressiveness by the linebackers, and there is the reaction by Graham. And Philadelphia's offense takes over now with 1 second to go. First down on their 42. Riley Cooper caught a 62-yard touchdown pass, split left. And here's Bradford, and incomplete. Good defensive play made downfield by Bashaud Breeland on Nelson Aguilar. Breeland with a terrific play, and that'll be the end of the third quarter with the score. Redskins 16, Eagles 13. Fox NFL Sunday returns after a message and a word from your local Fox station. And we start the fourth quarter here at FedEx Field in Landover, Maryland. Dick Stockton along with David Deal and Christina Pink. And the Eagles outscoring the Redskins 13-3 in the turnover by Jordan Reed. An aggressive play by the Eagles linebackers, creating a turnover. Let's see what they do with it, trailing by 3. 2nd and 10 at the 42, and the first play is a completed pass to the 46, and a flag goes down. Zach Ertz with the catch. This is the 13th penalty.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness, defense, number 34. 15-yard penalty, automatic.
So Trenton Robinson with the personal foul. That's 2 in the last few minutes. And that'll be a big boost to the Eagles. They'll get it at the 39 of the Redskins. Trenton Robinson, twice called for a personal foul. So a 4-yard catch, but tack on 15 more. Bradford looking downfield all the way into the end zone. Touchdown, Miles Austin. "39-yard touchdown strike, and the Eagles take the lead, capitalizing on that fumble by the Redskins. Tell you, when Bradford has had time, he has been dead on. And he hasn't always had time, but he's come alive, hasn't he, in the second half, David?
He really has, and if you think about it, the way that the Redskins defense played in the first half, they didn't have the penalties, they didn't have the miscues, but it's come back in the second half to have those two and have that one happen in this drive. The personal foul allowed the Eagles to take a shot downfield and come up with a touchdown.
Caleb Sturgis with the extra point, and the Eagles lead 20-16. This was the fumble by Reed, recovered by Hicks, and then Austin with the touchdown reception from 39, and Philly is up. First time today.
This game is sponsored by Xbox One, the official game console of the NFL. By DirecTV. Don't just watch TV, DirecTV. And by the Quesarito and Volcano Quesarito Big Boxes. Grab them at Taco Bell.
And the Eagles lead it by a score of 20-16 as Sam Bradford has come alive in the second half under a lot of pressure, and he's got some in the second half, but when he hasn't, he has been terrific. 3 plays, 58 yards. The fumble recovery by the Eagles, setting it all up, and the 39-yard catch by the former Brown and Cowboy, Miles Austin. So the Eagles getting big plays today, something they haven't gotten in the first 3 games of the season. Rashard Ross will run this one out after a delay from the 2-yard line, and Ross is tackled. Not sure why he waited before running it out.
Go back to this touchdown. Last minute, you see Miles Austin looks back, gets a signal from his coordinator, does it again. They identify something, and then they go back to him. But if you're watching, you could see Chris Culliver. You could tell that he is not 100% out there. That's the second time that a deep stretch has gotten past him and a go for a touchdown. And Sam Bradford has every right to be excited and to cheer on this offense coming off of the field.
No question, 1st and 10 at the 19. See what Cousins does to try to bring the Redskins back here, as Morris has not been able to run effectively today. Held to about 1.5 yards by Brandon Graham. So Sam Bradford in the first half, nothing to shout about, but in the second half, getting better protection. 7 for 13, 160 yards and 3 touchdowns. This is a team, the Eagles, that trailed 13-0, and they lead for the first time here.
The run game has been ineffective for them. They only have 65 yards on 13 carries, but the second half, the momentum and the one single high safety, the vertical routes by the Eagles offense have definitely beat the coverage one-on-one.
2nd down and 8 from the 21. Cousins, who's at time, goes to Crowder. First down for Crowder, the rookie from Duke. They bring it out to the 33-yard line, picking up 12. How about Cousins' percentage today? 22 of 28 for 228 yards. And even though the Redskins are trailing right now, the fact that Cousins has avoided the mistakes really looms large for him.
He's avoided the mistakes, but he still doesn't have a touchdown thrown.
And we have an injured Redskin on the field. We'll be back. Well, we'd like to welcome the men and women in uniform serving around the world, watching today's broadcast at 175 countries on AFN, the American Forces Network. Thanks for all you do, and we hope you're enjoying today's telecast. It was not a Redskin player injured, but one of the officials that holds the markers on the sideline.
Had the opportunity yesterday to go to Arlington National Cemetery to see the Tomb of the Unknowns, Iwo Jima. You know, America's the land of the free because of the brave. And thank you to all of you who serve for us in our great country.
And you got to see the changing of the guard as well, didn't you?
Unbelievable to experience.
Redskins first down at the 33. Fake handoff to Jones and going deep to Ross, incomplete. Double covered downfield. So now it's second down.
Took their shot downfield. Had Eric Rowe one-on-one. Eric Rowe, who came up with a big interception last week. You know, he's excited about the way his Utah Utes are playing this year.
Yeah, should be. And how about Ross? Went to Arizona State and they knocked off UCLA on Fox last night in that big bet. Second down and 10. Cousins. And he has Crowder. Steps out of bounds. First down. Kurt Menefee with a game break. Kurt.
All right, the Cincinnati Bengals trying to keep their train rolling. Jeremy Hill rolls into the end zone for his second touchdown of the game. They missed the two-point conversion, although they are challenging it. It's big, 27-15 right now, late in the third. Dick?
All right, Kurt. Red and orange. Boy, that's an interesting color to see out there with the Chiefs and the Bengals. Meanwhile, the Redskins and the white and green of the Eagles battling first and 10 from the 45. Quick out to the right side to Garcon, and he is ridden out of bounds by Eric Rowe, and we'll have a flag. A little bit too hard, Eric Rowe. And Redskins.
Unnecessary roughness. Defense, number 32, with a late hit out of bounds.
So we're in Eagle territory and now moving closer.
Garcon pushing for that extra effort, but Connor Barwin didn't help that with the extra push. But Rowe, you know you're out of bounds. You know, let it go.
That was only a 6-yard pass, David, but you add 15 onto that, and now the Redskins, who are trying to regain the lead, will have a first down at the 34.
Another big penalty.
14 penalties in the game. 8 against the Redskins, 6 against the Eagles. Chris Thompson is in, and Chris Thompson looking for running room. Nothing there, and they'll lose about a yard. Fletcher Cox defending on the play. Cox slow to get up. Fletcher Cox is shaken up. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back.
Today's game is sponsored by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
And we're back here at FedEx Field, and that is Fletcher Cox, who was injured and has left the game and has been replaced by Vinnie Curry, number 75. It'll be second down and 11. There's Curry.
Fletcher Cox is a tough player inside. He's dynamic and versatile. He can line up inside as a 3 technique. He can line up outside as an end. Real good and strong with his hands at the point of attack.
Spreading the offense, and Cousins going for Garcon, and there's some pushing, but incidental indeed, as Nolan Carroll, crowd looking for a flag downfield, but both the defender and the receiver were going for the ball. And it'll be third down and 1. So they took a shot.
They did. Susan got it hooked. Surprise, usually that one's called, and they called it earlier in the game as well.
Third and 11. Third and 11.
This is where the consistency of the pass interference calls come into play.
Cousins with a deep drop. And going underneath, incomplete. Thompson off of his hands, incomplete. And it'll be 4th down. Jordan Hicks, the linebacker, on the coverage. So it'll be 4th down. Tress Way will come in to punt. Still a lot of time. Still early in this 4th quarter. Sproles will be standing at the 10-yard line. Way's not looking for a lot of yardage on this kick. He just wants to try to place it inside the 10 if he can. And the kick will go into the end zone, touchback, and the Eagles will take it out at the 20. Well, coming up next, it's America's Game of the Week. Aaron Rodgers leads the Packers against the 49ers. Others will see Adrian Peterson's Vikings take on Peyton Manning and the Broncos, or the Rams face the undefeated Cardinals. America's Game of the Week coming up next here on Fox. Of those games, what catches your eye?
I think I'm looking forward to seeing the Packers 49ers. I know that everybody knows how well the Packers are playing, and the 49ers have struggled. But Colin Kaepernick is actually 3-0 in those battles.
That's very interesting. First down at the 20-yard line, and the Eagles riding high, going to the air, and incomplete on the first down play to Zach Ertz. And the coverage by Chris Culliver. And a penalty flag down.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Defense. Number 93 was a late hit.
That's the second roughing the passer call. That was on Chris Baker. It was Jason Hatcher earlier.
It was the late hit. You see the head snap back, the chin and the face mask get hit. You know that they're going to do everything they can to protect the quarterback, especially when it's shots to the head.
9 penalties for 100 yards marked off against the Redskins. That has plagued them all year. Maybe with the exception of the Rams game. Handoff is to Ryan Matthews. And Matthews dives ahead. He'll be stopped short of a first down by a yard by Deshaun Goldson. So here's the penalty story. First 3 weeks, and then today. Second down and 1.
Eagles offense all looking to the sidelines, waiting for the call to come in.
Bradford gives it to Matthews. First down, and he gets a few more as well to midfield. 6-yard pickup for Ryan Matthews. So you talked about the 3-headed monster of DeMarco Murray, Ryan Matthews, and Darren Sproles. Matthews has gained 20 yards, Murray 33, and Sproles 13 on the ground. But they've done it through the air, have the Eagles.
See all the communication. Look at them all looking, waiting for the calls to come in. We've got 4 different coaches over there signaling fake stuff, trying to identify which one's what.
And Matthews going outside. Holding penalty flag is down. The hold is called, and that'll bring it back. Culliver made the tackle.
Holding. Offense. Number 87. 10-yard penalty. Replay.
And that's on the tight end, Brent Selleck, who caught a touchdown pass earlier in the game.
See Brent Selleck here at the end of the line. He is going to try at the point of attack. You see the hook, the right hand. Feet get beat. You're outside your framework. Going up against a defensive end. You got to make sure you pin that inside number. Left hand, you want to wrap it. Get it inside. You can't hook it.
Very subtle, huh?
It is. But it's right at the point of attack. You're talking about edging the defense somewhere.
First down and 20. And the pass is caught by Austin. And Miles Austin gets to the 48-yard line of the Eagles, picking up 12 yards. And once again, as David Deal had mentioned, the secondary of the Redskin defense vulnerable today. D'Angelo Hall out with a toe injury, maybe about a month. Chris Culliver, inflammation of the knee, playing despite the fact that he's not 100%. They activated a couple of practice squad guys for the secondaries. 2nd and 8. And here's Sproles. Can't break it. Gets a couple. Kyshon Jarrett, I should say, and a 2-yard gain. Well, this is an NFC East battle, and who better to have alongside me than David Deal, who played 11 years with the New York Giants. 2 Super Bowl championships. Christina Pink on the sideline as well. 3rd down and 6 for Bradford. Off the hands of Sproles. He would have had the first down with ease. And drops have affected Eagle receivers coming into this game, and that's the first one they have dropped today.
Joe Barry brings the blitz down the middle. Darren Sproles knows that he's hot. He stops. Ball's thrown outside of him. He cannot come up with the catch, but that one hits your hands. And like I said, in the first quarter, you're not used to Darren Sproles dropping ball, especially in key situations on 3rd down.
Fair catch called for by Jamison Crowder. So the Redskins go to work, down by 4. Bradford had it there, maybe not perfectly, but it was catchable for sure.
Welcome back to FedEx Field. Tanya Snyder, the wife of owner Daniel Snyder, is a breast cancer survivor. Today before the game, the 8th annual All-Star Survivor Celebration was held here at FedEx Field. Mrs. Snyder distributed ribbons to 31 breast cancer survivors during the event. Prior to the game, the 31 survivors were on the field, and Mrs. Snyder was an honorary captain for the coin toss.
All right, so this is the Fox Sports supports and the NFL backing fight against breast cancer, which starts here in this month of October. 1st and 10 on the 10-yard line. Cousins backed up and trying to get it to Morris, nowhere near him. And good pressure that time by Jordan Hicks. How about Jordan Hicks and what he has meant to the Eagles, the 3rd-round pick out of Texas?
They said right when he came in, this stage was not too big for him. He walked in, had the presence that he was going to work and learn and get every aspect of his defense. He was challenged during training camp, and they all said he rose to those challenges like a veteran.
2nd down and 10, back to his goal line. Cousins, and dropped by Ryan Grant. So now, right now, the Redskins offense is unraveling a bit, and it'll be 3rd down coming up.
In this point in this football game, you cannot drop this pass. You have got to come up with that catch. You're down at home, and somebody has to step up and make a big play to get the momentum back on your side. When you're called upon, there is no excuse for that.
3rd down and 10. Chris Thompson, good receiver out of the backfield. Number 25. And Cousins avoids a safety, but completes the pass to Jamison Crowder, but well short of the 1st down, and the Redskins will have to kick. That time Brandon Graham put the pressure on. So in the second half, the Eagles getting much closer to Cousins than they did in the first half.
They're going to run a stunt up front. They're going to run a TE, the tackle first, end around. That's what causes that pressure. Unable to switch it at the line of scrimmage. They get it in Kirk Cousins' face. He's unable to continue with his progressions downfield. Has to drop it off and forces the punt.
So Tressway will be kicking. Darren Sproles, already good field position. This is a short kick, and the fair catch called for in midfield. What a difference this game has been, night and day, with the first and second halves. It was all Washington with a great defense, spinning a shutout in the first half. Then in the second half, what a great performance with protection for Sam Bradford.
The Philadelphia Eagles offensive line settled down even with the injury to Jason Peters. They were able to function. They were able to move the ball downfield, took advantage of Chris Culliver being injured. But more importantly, the minute that they got that turnover from their defense, the strip force fumble, boom, next play, here they came down, scored that touchdown, and put themselves ahead in this football game.
And they've got a short field here, starting at midfield with 7:32 to go, leading by 4. And here's DeMarco Murray trying to push the pile. Well, the Eagles couldn't run the ball in the first half much. So they've decided to go to the air with good protection, as you see Matthews and Sproles coming into the game from the sidelines. And 3 touchdown passes. Bradford to Cooper for 62. Selleck is tight end for 10. And then to Miles Austin for 39, thus the 4-point lead. Here's Sproles getting the handoff on, and then right there making the play is Will Compton, starting today for the injured Perry Riley Jr.
If you notice the Philadelphia Eagles now on this drive, and I know it's about plays, but it is also about time. Less than 7 minutes left on the clock. They're going a lot slower. They're not going in that fast upbeat tempo.
Do you run or pass here?
I think you pass it.
That's brought him back in the game, hasn't it, David?
Yes, it has.
And that's what they'll attempt. And the pass is dropped, incomplete. And it was Jordan Matthews could not hold on. And so it'll be 4th down. Tyshawn Jarrett aggressively playing the Eagles leading wide out.
That's a 14th drop pass this season by the Philadelphia Eagles. Great covered by Jarrett coming back and stopping it. And I know he's looking for the flag, but if you weren't going to get one down at the bottom of the end zone earlier, the one that they were screaming about, you're not going to get it on that.
Jamison Crowder calls for the fair catch, and does it stay in? No, it goes into the end zone. And with 6:05 to go, the Redskins will get the ball, and there's a flag down, penalty marker down. First, he played the fumble.
One hold up, lawnmower out, Brandon Graham. Next play, touchdown.
39 yards to Miles Austin. And the penalty is against the Redskins. Eagles have outscored Jay Gruden's team 20-3 in the second half. We talked about those 3 touchdown passes by Sam Bradford. And for Matt Jones and Alfred Morris, nothing doing today in the running game.
Second half has been a completely different half for the Philadelphia Eagles offense. And more importantly for Sam Bradford, second half, he has shown why they traded for him and brought him in. Hasn't had the interceptions. Second week in a row now going into the 4th, and they've protected him.
Traded for Nick Foles, plus the number 2 pick. First down, Alfred Morris. And Morris with a first down. Gets it out to the 28-yard line, picking up 16. Alfred Morris, that's his longest run of the game. Redskins need a touchdown to take the lead. Remember, Caleb Sturgis missed a field goal and an extra point in this game. Here's Morris again. Get a feeling Morris may be getting on track as late as it is at this point, David.
Yes, it really is. And this is the time where they need to take advantage of it and continue to move forward, because if they can get the runs going, that's where they've been able to open up their passing game, get the play action, and take a shot. But this is not a time where you press, but as an offense, you've got to have a sense of urgency here, because you know right now this is the most important drive of the football game.
Chris Thompson replaces Morris in the backfield with under 5 minutes to go. Here is Thompson. An Eagle gets a hand on him. And remember, the running play is not going to be bad for the Eagles, but for the Redskins, they've got to get downfield. They need the touchdown, not the field goal here. And the clock runs with 4:40 remaining. Now it's 3rd down and 1.
You asked me earlier, what should they do? I said, put it on the offensive lineman. They came up short. Once again, what are you going to do? Are you going to put it on the offensive lineman who didn't come up, or are you going to throw it? And it looks like they're going to throw it.
Maybe it's 2-down territory for them. Cousins completes it for the first down to Reed. Jordan Reed with the first down catch. Let's go out to L.A. for a game break and join Mike Hill.
All right, guys, Giants trying to finish strong in the fourth quarter for a change in Buffalo. Look at this effort by Rashard Jennings on third down. Makes a player miss, and then Bakari Rambo, just get out of the way. Touchdown, 51-yard touchdown. Going for two. It's 22-10 Giants in the fourth.
All right, Mike, and we'll get to the NFC East standings as the Giants going to Buffalo and taking the 22-10 lead. Play action for Cousins on first down, and miscommunication between Rashad Ross and Kirk Cousins. Talking about that NFC East, the Dallas Cowboys will play the Saints later tonight, and Drew Brees will start for New Orleans. But the Giants trying to get to 2-2 and leading in the fourth quarter. And one of these teams will also get to 2-2, David.
Yes, they will. And this is a division that is wide open. But everybody knows how important this game is right here. The only guarantee that you get into the playoffs with a home field advantage is by winning your division.
And this is the first division home game that the Redskins have played this season. 2nd and 10. Cousins going underneath. Flag is down. And the pass is caught by Derek Carrier. But there's a penalty on the far side of the field. This is the 18th penalty of the game, and it'll go against Philadelphia.
Water quarterback was still in the pocket. Holding. Defense, number 23. 5-yard penalty. Automatic. First down.
Nolan Carroll holding on the play, and it'll be an automatic first down. That's a critical penalty against the Eagles right here.
It really is. I mean, we have already over 180 yards in penalties in this football game, and it started with the first play of the game. I don't see where the penalty is on that one.
Certainly not after 5 yards. First and 10 at the 42 now for the Redskins. Each team has all 3 timeouts remaining. Here's Morris breaking it. Alfred Morris. Notice how he protected the ball with both hands as he was going down at the 45-yard line. Connor Barwin making the tackle for 13. Very alert and smart play by Alfred Morris.
Changed the tone here. Now 4 rushes this and only 2 passes in this drive. But nice job at the point of attack. Getting everybody clogged up, giving him a 2-way go, whether he wants to go outside or inside. Being patient, letting that block set up and cutting it up.
Morris' longest run was 16. He now is the leading rusher today for Washington. First and 10 at the 45. And they go to Morris again. And tell you what, he's a streak runner for sure. Bo Allen brings him down.
We thought they were going to start the game this way, but obviously they're looking to close the game this way. I mean, at this point, you really don't have to run a play because you've got the 2-minute warning, but they're going to.
2nd down and 7. This is the 8th play of the drive. A drive that's been just under 4 minutes. Pass is caught by Ryan Grant, and he gets another first down for the Redskins. And now we'll get down to the 2-minute warning on the 34-yard line. First down for the Redskins, trailing by 4, needing a touchdown to take the lead.
Today's game is sponsored by Lowe's. Hurry in this week for great fall savings.
2 minutes to go in regulation. The Eagles lead 20-16. This has been a game of 2 different halves as Kirk Cousins and Bradford dueling. Redskins led 13-0 at halftime with a really relentless pass rush. And then in the second half, with Sam Bradford getting time, he took advantage of it, David Deal.
Sam Bradford getting time, turnovers by the defense created. Put them in the position right now where they're winning.
And a first down on the 34 for Washington. They use Chris Thompson in there. He's rushed for 53 yards. And he has caught 2 passes as well. Cousins looking for his second career game-winning drive in the fourth quarter. Crowder holds on to it. Gets to the 30-yard line. Biggers on the defense, picking up 4.
I've been in this position before in an NFC East game, and you realize how important it is to, number one, be disciplined in this spot, but number two, your playmakers have got to step up and make a play for you.
Second down and 6, and the out to Grant, and incomplete. Did not hold on to the ball. Tell me how tense it is in a huddle when you're going down to try to win a game like this.
It's not tense, but everybody's extremely focused because you know this is the only opportunity that you feel you have to win this football game. And the next play is the most important play of the game.
Quarterback only guy talking?
Only one talking. He's the only one. Eyes are all on him. He's the general, and they're going to follow the orders.
Third down and 6. Under a minute and a half to go. Big play. Cousins. Flag down. Cousins getting away. And Cousins is going to dive for the first down pending the call. The flag down at the 40-yard line. And an 8-yard gain. 2 penalty markers down. One at the line of scrimmage.
There are 2 fouls on the play.
And one downfield.
One against each team. Holding. Offense, number 75. Holding. Defense, number 23. These fouls all set. Replay, third down.
So Brandon Sheriff, the number 1 pick out of Iowa, the rookie, holding on one side. And I'm not sure whether it was Nolan Carroll. It was holding defensively in the secondary for the Eagles, but we saw the first flag go down against Sheriff, didn't we?
Right guard right here. You see that hand hooked, holding the grab.
Offsetting penalties. Third down and 6 again. Crowder in motion toward the line. Here's Cousins. And Cousins pass. And it's caught to the 15-yard line. Pierre Garçon, and a first down. As we wind down to a minute remaining. Eagles have 3 timeouts left. The Redskins have 2.
Walter Thurman jumped that route, but Pierre Garçon showing his strength and his toughness to be able to pull that one out and make that catch.
12th play coming up. They've used over 5 minutes, needing a touchdown. Nothing less will do for the Redskins. And the pass incomplete to Jordan Reed. But it stops the clock with 42 seconds remaining.
Jordan Reed is down right now.
Reed is shaken up. Fletcher Cox earlier for the Eagles, but he came back into the game. It'll be second down and 10 from the 16. We want to welcome our viewers to FedEx Field. Dick Stockton along with David Deal and Christina Pink. The Redskins led 13-0 at the half. The Eagles have come back to take a 20-16 lead with 42 seconds remaining. And the Redskins on the move, and Jordan Reed, the tight end, walking off on his own power.
The Washington Redskins were just charged with a timeout. They had 3, but due to the injury inside the 2-minute drill, they're going to be forced, and they take away one of their timeouts, so now only 2.
One, actually.
I'm sorry.
One timeout left.
One timeout.
So the Redskins needing a touchdown to pull this game out. Eagles also missed a field goal and an extra point. So it's a 4-point deficit. Second down and 10. Pump fake by Cousins, passing underneath and to the 5-yard line. And that was Pierre Garçon, who's been a big weapon in this final drive for the Redskins. And a timeout called by Washington.
Their second.
They still have 1 timeout left.
Please reset the game clock.
They still have 1 timeout remaining.
35 seconds on the game clock.
So I thought so. They didn't remove it from the scoreboard.
You're
That's
right.
that's why I was sitting there when I said before the 2-minute. I thought they had 2.
It was 10-0 and 13-0 in favor of the Redskins at halftime. The Eagles, with 3 touchdown passes by Sam Bradford in the second half, outscoring Washington 20-3. One of these teams will go to 2-2. Dallas plays tonight against New Orleans, and the Giants leading by 2 touchdowns at Buffalo. But right here, it's first and goal from the 4. Kirk Cousins throwing it out of the end zone. Crowder, the rookie from Duke, was back there. Now it'll be second and goal.
Only rush 4, play coverage. Good first down stop for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Redskins coming in, trying to rebound from their loss to the Giants a week ago Thursday. Eagles trying to make it 2 in a row. And it comes down to this. Chris Thompson, the running back, split wide left to the bottom of your picture. Just a half a minute remaining. Looking that way. The pass. It's caught. Touchdown to Garcon. They will review this as they do all scoring plays. Was Pierre Garcon in? Great pass and pretty good defense by the Eagles as well, David.
That time they brought the blitz. Kirk Cousins knew he had to get rid of that one quickly. And who does he go to? Pierre Garcon, who has had a phenomenal drive on this series.
So Kirk Cousins throwing 45 passes today, completing 30. And the extra point attempt by Dustin Hopkins, and the kick is good. 15 plays, 90 yards for Jay Gruden's Redskins. Trying to get to 2-2, winning a divisional game at home, and for Chip Kelly, the Eagles have not really gotten to where they wanted to be early in the season, despite the fact that they trailed 13-0 and came back to take a 4-point lead.
The protection up front is good. Kirk Cousins knows that he has Connor Barwin unaccounted for. He knows he's got to get rid of it quickly. Who does he go to? The playmaker, Pierre Garcon. Big touchdown catch to put him ahead right now, and they're hoping that it puts him right now at 2-2.
So David, Sam Bradford's thrown 3 touchdown passes, and Cousins saving his best for last, perhaps, with his first touchdown pass of the game. So it is 23-20 in favor of the Redskins with 26 seconds to go, and Pierre Garcon, who's had to take over the receiving lead of this team with Deshaun Jackson out. Tell you, the faith in Cousins has paid off for Jay Gruden.
It really has. Hasn't been scared to throw it out of bounds, and no interceptions.
Want to remind you, coming up, it's the State Farm Game Break Show. Kurt, Terry, Howie, Michael, and Jimmy will be along with scores and highlights, and we'll get you ready for America's Game of the Week. And Josh Huff had a notion. And the Eagles have 26 seconds left to attempt a field goal to send this game into overtime. There's the scoring drive, and Cousins completing 6 passes, and Garcon the key target.
Not only in this touchdown drive, but in this series, in this entire drive, he has been phenomenal. He has come up with the catches, and I said, your playmakers have to step up and make plays.
Here's Bradford.
Has.
Bradford completes the pass underneath, and the tackle made by Jarrett on Zach Ertz. And a timeout called by the Eagles.
This is a 30-second timeout.
I'll tell you something, David Veal, 2-time Super Bowl champion. This is nothing new for you.
No.
I mean, can you count on 2 hands, 3 hands, how many great NFC East battles you've been in when you played for the Giants?
This is what it's all about, is a slugfest, heavyweight fight, last man standing, who has the ball last. But the best thing about this is is it's been about the defense of both sides. In the first half, it was the Washington Redskins. In the second half, it has been the Philadelphia Eagles giving the life to their offense. The offensive line for the Eagles settling down and putting points on the board. But the Redskins have rallied back and put themselves right now where they're in.
That's the one thing they haven't done this year, is to be resilient and come back. And Bradford is going to go down. Trent Murphy with the sack. And a timeout by Philadelphia.
Timeout, Philadelphia.
They have one left.
They have seconds. This is a 30-second timeout.
And David, if you're an offensive lineman and you're getting beaten so badly in the first half, and then you protect your quarterback brilliantly in the second half, only to see the Redskins say, look, we can still get back, and they did.
And this is a point you cannot give up a sack. Lane Johnson does not throw his hands. Trent Murphy is able to knock him down, get around the edge. Comes up with a huge sack, makes him force another timeout.
15 seconds.
FedEx Field is absolutely rocking right now.
Bedlam, no question about it. 13, now they put 15 seconds remaining. One timeout left. Eagles on the 20. They need a big play, but the Redskins are rushing 4 and sending back 7. And that's all they need. It's Murphy again with another sack. And Ryan Kerrigan coming in as well. And the Eagles now out of timeouts.
There are question marks about the offensive line coming in. Gardner, the right guard, was hurt. Tobin was in. Tobin went to left tackle. Kelly came in, did a sufficient job going through up until this point, but defensive line have their ears pinned back, and this is where you're challenged in one-on-one matchups. And right now, the Washington Redskins have won those.
4th down and 16. Seven men way back around midfield for the Redskins. Bradford, and he completes the pass. And the old University of California play, trying to keep it alive. And it's taken away by the Redskins, Trent Murphy. How about Murphy in this last series? The game is over, and the Redskins have won it. The Redskins winning back-to-back games against the Philadelphia Eagles, winning last December and winning together today 23-20 to go 2-2 on the year, and the Eagles drop to 1-3. Winning touchdown to Pierre Garçon.